Hello everyone. Welcome to the next dungeon in the Samurai Dungeon series. So this time, our adventures bring us to Pharos Sirius hard mode. I believe this is the first hard mode dungeon that I've done in this series. So basically, Pharos Sirius is a dungeon, a level 50 dungeon from A Realm Reborn. I think it was a part of 2.1 if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. But yeah, this is the hard mode of that dungeon, so there's a lot of similar areas. Like, we're actually starting on the top floor, which is where the final boss is in the original Pharos Sirius dungeon. We're working our way down. There are some unique areas. In fact, I believe most of the dungeon is unique. The music is also sort of a remix from Pharos Sirius. So if you were a fan of the music of Pharos Sirius, such as I was, then you'll really enjoy it. But I'd like to go ahead and take a quick moment here and mention yet again that we have Cassie Bell along for the ride as an astrologer. And Rumor Tally is actually here as Paladin this time. He's tanking, which is pretty awesome. It's always nice to have both the tank and the healer as your friends, because you can definitely trust that they'll do what they need to do. But I'd also like to say one more thing. Today is actually Rumor's birthday. So happy birthday, Rumor. I hope your day is fantastic. If you'd like to leave a comment below saying happy birthday to Rumor, feel free to do so. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Rumor's been my friend for quite some time, and he's a really good friend of mine. I love you, Rumor. Have a good day. That was kind of a shout out, I guess. I'm not really used to doing, like, over-the-top shout outs. I'm usually just like, oh, Cassie's here, or oh, Rumor's here, cool, and then that's just sort of it. But anyways, back to the dungeon. So, a whole lot of these enemies are going to be corrupted, as you can see. Basically, the story behind that is, since we cleansed the tower of the boss of the original dungeon, which I'm not going to spoil just in case you haven't done it yet. Once you kill that boss, then the corruption in the tower continues to grow, and eventually it spreads to pretty much everything still living here. The story definitely gets deeper than that, but for the sake of time and explanation, I'm not going to go into it. So here we are. First boss, Gra Luminary. So it's been a quick minute since I've done this dungeon. Probably a few months actually since I've done this dungeon. But I'm going to do my best to go over the mechanics in a way where you can understand them. So this guy, I do remember he has one major mechanic with tethers, and you have to drop your tether off at a untargetable NPC. As you can see right there. You see Cassie has a tether, and then there's a spider right here. What you want to do is walk over to the spider and have the spider take the tether, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to test that out myself when I get a tether. Alright, I have a tether. I need to find a spider. Yep, there you go. Just like that. Not too complicated. If you fail to drop off your tether, you're going to take heavy damage. So you don't want to do that. Other than that, it's basically just, dodge AoEs just like every other boss. So this boss is actually pretty simple. But you can't forget the tether. I mean, the tether's important. So there, you can drop it off to the bird as well. Just any ad, basically. I probably shouldn't have done that, honestly. I should have given that bird to Rumor. But I think we'll be fine. Hopefully we'll be fine. Lots of AoEs. There's some ads. I don't know if we're supposed to kill the ads or not, honestly, but I don't think we'll need to, considering how close the boss is to being dead. And that's boss number 1. Wasn't too complicated. So after this dungeon, we're actually going to start getting into the main scenario dungeons for the 3.x series, starting with the Anti-Tower, which is a really interesting dungeon. It's not one of my favorites necessarily, but it's definitely up there for me. It's got a nice atmosphere. I like the music. It's very relaxing and calm for the most part, and the bosses are fun. Plus, at the final boss, they actually drop 2 minions instead of 1, which is, I believe, a unique thing to that dungeon. I don't think any other dungeon drops 2 minions. There are quite a few that have a minion, but not 2 minions. So that dungeon definitely has a lot of replayability. Oops, probably should have gone the other way. Looks like I'll be okay though. So honestly, I should probably stun this guy. This guy is he's called a Construct 8, but basically what he's mimicking is a Minotaur, and the Minotaur type enemies have AoEs that do heavy damage and knockback. And you can stun them, so I'm going to go and try here. Alright, good, yeah, I stunned him. Normally it's the tank's job to worry about stunning, but Rumor is pulling big here, so I can understand it's a little complicated to keep aggro on all the enemies and get perfectly timed stuns in on enemies. So that's why I keep stun on my hotbar as Samurai. That's a roll action called Leg Sweep. I always keep that one as a melee DPS just to help out the tank if they need it. And as you can see, there actually is another Minotaur type enemy. I'm gonna go ahead and work on that guy in just a moment. Oh, never mind, he's almost dead. Well, good. So this dungeon is actually going to be a pretty quick dungeon because of how big we're pulling. If your group pulls smaller, it can take around 20 to 25 minutes, but from the looks of things, with how we're doing so far, as long as we don't wipe, it'll probably be a 16-minute dungeon. Maybe 18 minutes. You know, it really doesn't matter how long a dungeon is, as long as you're having fun with it, right? Of course, the developers have the intent of making every piece of content fun. Sometimes it doesn't end up working out that way, like Palace of the Dead. Probably pieces of content in the game, at least in my opinion. I'm sure there's some people that really enjoy it. But it's just not my thing. But usually dungeons, even the dungeons I don't like all that much, aren't that big a deal to run. They're not that long, they're only 20 minutes usually. Or like 20 to 30 minutes maximum. It's not that bad. Raids usually take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. Unless you do the really old ones, which you're really over leveled for, you can usually complete those in about 20 minutes if you don't have any severe wipes or anything. And by those I mean alliance raids, not the 8-man raids. And with that, here is the second boss. 8th Order Patriarch Baegu. Pretty sure you say that, Baegu. Not entirely certain, but... Alright, so right off the bat here, we've already got a positional AoE. Just move away from that. So it's going to open ruptures, and what you want to do is grab these gels. The tank can do it, or the DPS can do it, it doesn't really matter. You want to position the gel on top of that crack and then kill it. And what that does is it seals off the gas, because that gas does continual damage to you and your party. At least I believe that's what that does. Or maybe it's just... Actually, I don't see any damage, so maybe that's not it. But either way, you're supposed to move the gel on top of the gas right there and kill them. As you can see, this one is still there. Ooh, I got stunned, not good. Yep, got hit by an undodgeable attack. So, Alchemy Engine, you're going to want to kill this thing pretty quick because it shields the boss. Didn't take long to get rid of that. Yeah, he's basically just gonna do the same stuff over and over. I mean, dodge AoEs just like every other boss. He's gonna drop positional AoEs all the time that open holes in the floor. And immediately afterwards, he's gonna spawn a jelly. Where is it? There it is. Come here. And then you just, whoop, right here. There you go. You just kill it on top of there. If you don't kill it on top, I don't actually remember if it will spawn a new one or not. Oh, I don't have enough. Oh well. Check out the alchemy engine. There were 2 this time. And just finish the boss. Whoops, yeah, I got hit by that. Oh well. Not a big deal, he's almost dead. And there he is, second boss. Alright, moving on. So now we're actually underground, as you can see here. We're in a tunnel. Sapper tunnel, as it is specifically. So basically what this area is down here, it's a bomb breeding ground of sorts. Basically they're producing a bunch of bombs, and we don't want that to happen, so we're going to blow everything up. So whenever you find a pull that includes an incubator like this, you're going to want to take that out pretty quickly, because if you don't, it'll start popping out bombs that will blow up, and that's just no good. It's better to not blow up than to blow up, you know what I mean? Just take that out immediately, and as you saw for us, we didn't even get one. So if you take it out fast enough, you won't even have to worry about it. Yeah, probably shouldn't have done that. Oh, never mind. Looks like he's not pulling big on this one. Which is probably fair, considering that this living rock enemy here does pretty high damage compared to everyone else. So I'm going to actually go ahead and focus on this guy for now. He is dead. So here we are with another incubator. This time we have 3 in the area. We're going to want to take all 3 of them out pretty quickly. As you can see, there's a grenade that just spawned. He's going over there to blow up that wall. We don't want that to happen because it's going to bring in a bunch of ads. So there you go. And now we're going to focus on the Minotaur enemy. Stun. Yeah. It's pretty basic, pretty simple before the last boss. Looks like that wall over there only lost half of its durability, which is actually pretty nice. I actually have had runs where that wall will break. Usually that only happens if some people in your party don't attack the incubators first, which has happened to me before. Where it'll basically be just me or just one DPS or, you know, whoever, just not very many people attacking it, and you can't kill them all in time. Now we are continuing on to the final boss. This is called the Progenitrix. So if you have played Palace of the Dead and you've gotten to floor 90, you'll have recognized this boss, because the boss in terms of aesthetics is one and the same, at least for the first half of the fight. It even uses the same abilities. But this boss fight is very different in a number of ways, which you'll see pretty soon. So we spawn 2 lava bombs, as you can see. We are going to want to kill those immediately. If you don't, very bad things will happen. And what you're probably thinking is, wow, how in the world is this boss already almost dead? Like, that was the easiest boss fight I've ever seen. Well, because of that. The boss is not actually dead. It may look like it, but the boss isn't dead. Now we have all these gray bombs. We want to take out the gray bombs and lava bombs. We want to take those out, specifically focusing on the gray bombs, because they are the ones that will do big burst and they will do lots of damage. And fortunately, we were able to kill them, which is it's good. The lava bombs also have an AoE, but they don't do as much damage. So here is Progenitor 2.0. Or Progenitor, I apologize. Now he's blue this time. His mechanics do change a little bit, but for the most part, he still just does the same stuff. I just want to check real quick. I just noticed something. There's a food item called Kasha, and then I have a attack called Kasha. I need to look up what that means. Alright, Grey Bomb. You want to focus that down again. They're not very hard to kill. Just 1 DPS can take them out. Remedy Bomb. Remedy Bomb is something you can kill as well, but if you don't, it's not a huge deal. It just puts a fire resistance debuff on you. So you'll take more damage from all of his attacks, basically. But we only have 2 stacks right now, so your healer should have no problem with 2 stacks. And finishing off his blue form, that is the end of the fight. I actually like this dungeon quite a bit. It's not my favorite dungeon by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not that bad either. Definitely could be worse. There are dungeons I really don't like Aurum Vale, or Stone Vigil, Dusk Vigil. Dusk Vigil and Stone Vigil, I'm not really a fan of either, but Dusk Vigil especially I don't like. But maybe I can make a video in the future about dungeons I don't like. Right now, I'm just running dungeons for the sake of running dungeons. So thank you all for watching this dungeon video, and hopefully you'll join me next time for the Anti-Tower, which is the first of 4 3-point-X related dungeons. I'll see you there. Take care.